all boils down to confidence, and this is bringing us into our next topic. And I call this the cheat code to happiness, right? Because this is something I learned a lot from you growing up. Is a lot of your happiness comes from obviously the way you view yourself, and if you don't view yourself in a good light, you'll never be honest. You'll never be happy. It doesn't matter what you have in your bank account. It doesn't matter what you have in your garage. It doesn't matter any of that shit.
Yeah.
All that matters is how you view yourself. And I want to ask you what the biggest, or I'll tell you mine after, but what your biggest change in your life that you made that caused you to gain the most confidence? Because you are honestly one of the most confident people I've ever met. And I know it boils down to a few factors, but I want you to talk about, from your point of view, what exactly it is that allows you to be as confident as you can.
Yeah. I think, and I actually wrote this down here, put stars around it. So just finding things that you genuinely love that give you life and energy and keeping them around you.
Mm-hmm.
So big things like our big rocks are fitness, obviously. Relationships are everything to me, keeping people in my circle that give me energy in life. I don't want people that are dragging me down. I'm sure you've heard that.
Yeah.
Whoever, the 5 people that you keep around you the most in your circle, you're going to become just like them.
Exactly.
So if I bring people into my life with energy that have big aspirations and goals, I'm probably going to be that same way.
Yeah.
So that's a big thing in my eyes. And then also just investing in yourself from a growth standpoint and just personal development. So like, what are you doing? Obviously we exercise, so we have that taken care of, but what are you doing outside of the gym? Do you engage in meditation, which I do a lot of?
Mm-hmm.
I've talked to you endless times about this. So I started doing that like a year and a half ago now.
And we'll get into that. We'll get into the next topic. But I keep talking. We'll get into the meditation, all that stuff.
But just like, that's just an example of something that you can do to invest in back in yourself.
Yeah.
And I feel that all these things add together to create a confident individual. If I am doing everything right for my body, nutrition-wise, exercise-wise, and then I'm surrounding myself with people and relationships that make me genuinely happy and help me grow as a person,
mm-hmm.
I can't lose.
Mm-hmm.
My confidence is going to be through the roof because I don't have anything that is sucking energy away from the circle around me,
mm-hmm.
right? So when I walk in a room, I'm confident as hell because I got all these things that I am focused on, and I'm not focused on any negative bullshit around me. The second you let that creep in your head, anxiety comes into play, all that type of shit.
Yeah.
People deal with that on the daily. That's kind of like inevitable for some people, and I get that. But I think there are things you can do, like of some of the things I talked about, that will help you negate that.
Exactly.
In a sense.
And I wrote down here, happiness is a byproduct of achievement. And I put achievement in quotations because what does achievement mean, right? And I feel like achievement can be not meaning medals and trophies, but achievement is what you tell yourself you're going to do and following through with it. 100%. That is an achievement. And I think a lot of times, at least what I found myself, because I went from middle school, high school, having little to no confidence, not being able to talk in front of people, not being able to, just really looking at myself in a negative light, to growing up, doing more things, having more experiences, obviously, and just, brain development and all that shit. But I feel like a lot of it came from me following through with what I tell myself I'm going to do.
Everything.
And I think a lot of times, and I see this in our friends too, some people in our friend group that don't follow through with what they tell themselves they're going to do, and then wonder why they look at themselves in negative light. If you don't view yourself, if you don't trust yourself, it really boils down to trusting yourself. You don't trust yourself in what you're saying and what you're doing and what you're preaching, and you're saying one thing but you're doing another. You'll never have true self-love and true feeling of achievement and accomplishment, which is, I feel like, the number one factor that builds confidence, which is also the number one factor that comes from happiness, right?
Yeah.
So it's like a snowball effect. And if you're not doing what you're telling yourself you're going to do every day, like a morning routine, and this is going to go into our next topic, but saying that you want to, do this, and this in the morning, you want to eat a good breakfast, you want to take a shower, you want to meditate, and you want to journal, right? And then you don't end up doing that, you're killing your confidence, you're killing your self-trust, and I think that's what's really hindering a lot of people from reaching their full potential, because they're just not going through with what they're telling themselves they're going to do,